Okay, good morning. Here we go. 9:53 a.m., January 31st, Wednesday, Eastern Daylight Time. Start where we left off yesterday. I'll try to go a little bit quicker and fit this all into the 15 minutes I have allotted on this free screencast record-o-matic deal. Okay, we'll start where we left off yesterday, around 11:06, 08, 04, if you remember. That's when we had the missing time, missing frames. There we got 2 hours missing. So anyway, let's just play these. There's quite several spots where there's missing several hours between yesterday and the latest updates of today. So here we go. There's the Magnetopause, the bow shock. Sun's out this way. As you can see, that's the Earth. Light side, dark side. If you listened to any of my last vids or watched Astral Traveler or anybody else that highlighted the magnetospheres and magnetopause, you know that there's not supposed to be a bunch of energy building up behind the Earth. These arrows here, that's the solar wind velocity. As you can see, they're all coming this way from the sun, and then they should be redirected around the Earth in this fashion. But as you can see, there's something behind us that's pushing the solar wind velocity back toward the Earth. I don't know how long you've been in this game, but if you remember way back in, I believe it was March 12th, you can just Google it on YouTube, March 12th, Magnetopause reversal, March 12th, 2012, Magnetopause reversal. There's still a few videos up on that, and that's when the solar wind got so strong behind the Earth that it blew everything. The entire magnetosphere and the magnetopause got blown so that it was blown back toward the sun. In other words, reverse this. This would be over here. And everything's blowing back this way. All the arrows going that way to the right instead of to the left. Alright, so I told you there's some missing time. I'll let this one play through because it's pretty cool looking. There's all the interplanetary magnetic field lines, the blue represented by the blue. You can see how they're getting all jumbled up. So, okay, let's start back here. So we picked up on this on the last vid yesterday. There's your 2 hours missing time. So no telling what we didn't see there. So we're scrolling forward. Notice there was another one up around the 1800 to 9. I think it was 18. Yeah, 18. So we got 1856. See how it jumps to 58. So here we go, 1857. You can see how everything's getting scrambled here. This is the energy coming from the sun. There's closed field lines directing the energy back toward our poles. That's how you get the auroras. So you can see there's a big plasma discharge heading out away from the Earth. That's when all the energy builds up and collects and finally gets discharged when it becomes too, the mass becomes too large. You can see it represented here. There's a lot of energy behind the Earth. Like as I mentioned yesterday, this is the satellite orbits which they orbit around 22,000 miles above the Earth. So let's pop it. Okay, there's 1857. Okay, well then we get the missing hour to 1958. And then jumps up. Okay, that's not missing there. Alright, there's a big miss there. So we got 208, jumps to 420. Once again, getting another big plasma buildup and discharge going to be happening there. So we'll just scroll this one up. See how we're getting pressure from the front side of the sun, which that's supposed to happen on the bow shock. But there's the 208. So we're getting the pressure, front side pressure from the sun. We get the energy building up behind. And then there we go, 205. You can see all these closed field lines building up, starting to swirl, getting ready to release. And then we have 2 hours missing. Then we jump to 419. So you can see there's the big plasma discharge. Now what happened during those 2 hours had to be pretty hairy, or they wouldn't have cut it out, in my humble opinion. So then here we go. Let's see. I think we got a few more missing. We'll try to touch on these real quick. There's 450. See, we're getting a lot of front side pressure from the sun again. Got another dose of energy building up behind the Earth. You can see these arrows indicate which direction the solar wind's coming from. So it looks definitely got something coming, pushing from the top and from down here, pushing back. Alright, you see it's building up here. There's the polar cap field, the open field lines, the black ones. They're all streaming back along, back along, back along. I imagine they probably got jumbled up real crazy when this plasma discharge happened. You can see the IMFs, interplanetary magnetic field lines, the blue. They're getting severely pushed back toward the Earth, back toward the sun. You can see that represented here somewhat anyway. Alright, so let's see. Then it jumps to 8 something. And then as we showed you yesterday, there's the big discharge again. So this thing's pretty consistent. It's pretty much what showed up yesterday. Let's see if we got any more missing. I believe there was something else. No, apparently that was about it. So anyway, we'll let that play through. That's the cool one, in my opinion. Look at all the blue IMF field lines. There's the black ones getting jumbled up. And then discharged. So you can see there's a whole lot of stuff going on that shouldn't be going on. There is a major perturber back there, and that would be the binary twin sun of the Earth, Nemesis. Now, remember we were looking at these electron belts yesterday, and remember I mentioned that astral traveler who unfortunately is no longer with us in the reporting on the phenomena associated with the LEF, or Object X as he used to call it. This is at a low energy, 10 keV. This is when the missing time happened yesterday. We'll just play it through. So you can see it's starting to collect up there. But anyway, the point here is the nemesis, as Astral Traveler pointed out. We'll just let these play through. These are at the highest electron count velocity. These are at half of the highest. This is at near the lowest, 10 keV, and twice the near lowest. So anyway, the binary twin emits mostly electrons, whereas the our sun emits mostly protons, which that would make sense since it's a binary twin, and equal and opposites seems to be the rule in physics. So it would just be natural that the sun's binary twin would emit mostly electrons. Anyway, when Astral used to make these vids, these low energy electrons would be dominant, but now, as you can see, they're not showing up as much, but it's the high energy ones. So as I pointed out yesterday, I believe this would allow us to safely conclude that the nemesis brown dwarf is closer now. I don't know. What do you think? Hang on. If you remember watching Astral Traveler's channel, this is one of the things you used to pull up all the time, Swacky Tech. It shows you the total electron count on the Earth and the ionosphere. And if I remember correctly, when the electron count was high in a certain area, that would indicate there was more of a chance for some big earthquake happening there. But we'll see. We'll see how that bears out. It's like off the coast of Africa, mid-Atlantic ridge area, where it's showing up real high now. This is a cool website that I check periodically. Gives you the pole axis drift, and it shows you what representation of what we're talking about. Zero tilt would be spinning just like, you know, but since we definitely got an earth wobble, and I think the weather would reflect that no matter where you live. There's a diagram. The open circle is 2013, and then it goes up to 2018. So you can see this would be the zero axis wobble here, and it's getting progressively worse, wobbling from side to side. I'll put links for these sites in the description box. This would be another representation of that, but just from the magnetic field in Kiruna, up near Sweden, I think, somewhere. Anyway, normally I've seen this arrow really deviate, but right now it's remaining pretty quiet. It's pretty close to a 0 point on the axis. So I'm running out of time here. We're going to keep it all in 15 minutes. I'll put those links in the description box, and you can see we'll just let this play through. Haven't really checked out any of the blood moon live streams because, you know, they got such a tight shot of the moon. I don't think we're going to see anything else as far as other objects or celestial bodies. But if you want to check out some good pics, go to Planet X channel, Alex Lujan, and WSO has been putting up some good pics as of late. There's that crazy interplanetary magnetic field getting blown up. Peace out.